Right? But I was early on the Matt Larkin train, and this man does not disappoint. Even if we had a competent Attorney General that had any idea what the law is, Matt would still be an excellent choice. But at this moment in time, he is the must-have choice. I welcome Matt Larkin.
Well, I am Matt Larkin. I've met a lot of you I haven't, so it's good to see some faces here. We have a real fight on our hands. Bob Ferguson has to lose in 3.5 weeks, and I will beat him in 3.5 weeks. In all of my memories, and I'm sure all of yours, try to recall an Attorney General who's been so partisan. Try to recall an Attorney General in Washington State who's been so reviled. I get up on stage and I say, I'm running to beat Bob Ferguson, and the whole room rips up into applause and I leave. It doesn't take much to get people fired up about Bob Ferguson. People seem to dislike him even more than Jay Inslee. Because he wants to be governor in 4 years, and because he's way smarter than Jay Inslee, which is a low bar, it's a low threshold. But he wants to be governor, so by beating him, and when I beat him in 3.5 weeks, when I beat him in 3.5 weeks, it will derail his political career, and we will hopefully never hear from Bob Ferguson again. For those of you who don't know much about me, I'm a lifelong Washington guy. I got my law degree at Gonzaga, grew up in the Seattle area. I went on to work for President Bush in the White House. I was a speechwriter for him and an attorney for him in that office. I've been a prosecutor, and now I'm a business owner of a family manufacturing company. So we make Waterworks pipeline products, and we make our products here the way it should be in Washington State. But the more important thing is my wife and I are raising our 4 little kids right now. So we've got a 10-year-old, an 8-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 2-year-old. And it goes boy, 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 and a little sweetheart on the end. So we're done having kids, thank the good Lord. But that's why I'm running this race. That's why I'm in this fight. It's not because I want to, it's because I have to. This is an important cycle. People don't like the way this state is going. You feel it. You're here. There's an energy in the room. And I don't think you felt it 4 years ago. I didn't feel it 4 years ago. Things are spiraling downward. And meanwhile, the statistics are climbing through the roof. Homelessness, drug abuse, crime, all of these things are going up and up and up. And you can track them to the start of Bob Ferguson's 8-year term. And every single year they've gone up. 22,000 homeless people sleep on the streets every night, and that number is going up. 2,000%, yes, 1,000, not 100, 2,000% increase in human trafficking over the last 8 years in Washington State. How come the press isn't making a big deal out of that? How come the press isn't saying, where is the Attorney General? Where is the state's top legal officer? Where is the protector of the people of Washington?
Suing Motel 6 for getting names out.
Well, he's distracted, but they don't want to talk about that because he's distracted doing what the press wants him to do, which is suing President Trump. 81 times. Think about that for a second. 81 lawsuits against the President of the United States in 3.5 years. Who's paying for those lawsuits? Every hand in this room should be up because we are all paying for Bob Ferguson to fight the resistance for us against President Trump. That's outrageous. He has made this the most partisan Attorney General's office in history. And we're going to change that. We are going to change that. In 3.5 weeks, you are going to elect someone who will fight for your religious liberties. Someone who will fight for your right to bear arms. Someone who will fight for your families. And for this, and to overturn this disastrous sex ed bill that was passed. And once we reject R90 in a few weeks, which we will, I am so excited to be able to be the Attorney General who will defend that and defend the will of the people from the office of the Attorney General, because that one's personal. My poor little kids deserve better than that. That should never have been passed. Nothing, my grandfather always says, nothing good ever happens after midnight. And I didn't believe him until I had kids. And now it's 11. But he's right, and we shouldn't be passing legislation at 2:14 a.m. in the darkness of night. What are they hiding? Nothing about that says that that's a good law if you have to hide it under cover of darkness. So we have a lot of work to do from the Attorney General's office. When I get in there, we have a lot of changes to make. We have Trump lawsuits to end. We have focus. We have to reorient the focus of the office on solving these problems. Solving the crime problem, solving the homeless problem, solving the addiction problem, cleaning up our streets, doing something about the lawless rioting that's plaguing our cities. Where was our Attorney General when 6 city blocks were taken over? In his backyard. 2 minutes from his house. Where was he?
Gone.
No, silent. Kind of gone. Silent. We expect better than that from our state's top legal officer. Where was he as the defund movement is gaining traction, which I can't even believe I'm saying? Where is the state's top legal officer? Silent. And when you call him on it, and I've had the good fortune of spending hours upon hours with him now in all of these editorial endorsement interviews, and it's so much fun spending time with him. But he's silent. And whenever that question comes up, or whenever I pose that question to him, he just punts it and he kicks the can down the road and says, oh, it's not really my job, but look at Trump, 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 Trump. And he tries to distract the whole liberal editorial board about the good things he's doing, suing President Trump. But no one is calling him on this stuff. And once I win, we will start calling attention to all of the things that he hasn't done, all of the things we're going to do, and we will start cleaning up our streets. And here's the problem. This is not just a Seattle problem. This is rippling out of King County. You see it in Kitsap. You see it in Pierce. You see it in Everett, Tacoma, Yakima. You see it in the Tri-Cities. Things are out of control. People aren't enforcing the law. And once I'm Attorney General, we are going to make crime illegal again. How about that? Right now, you can get away with anything in Seattle, and no one's going to arrest you. 89% of arrests in the Seattle area go without any prosecution whatsoever. That's 9 out of 10 arrests. How would it feel to be a cop in Seattle, knowing that the 5 hours you put into an arrest, the booking, the paperwork, the putting your life on the line, just responding to the call, is going to go with no action whatsoever? It's demoralizing. And they tell me this. I've been talking to police all over the state, and they all feel the same way. They feel like no one has their backs. And it's shame on the Attorney General for not standing at the same podium that he loves to stand behind and pat himself on the back for Trump lawsuits. Shame on him for not standing behind the same podium and saying, we have your back, men and women in blue. We will fight for your protection. It's a tough job. We realize it's a tough job. We realize you're putting your lives on the line for us. So we have your back. And I've been saying that. I've been yelling it. Whenever you hear me talk, I talk about it. Which is why we picked up 10 county sheriff endorsements. That's why last week we were thrilled to pick up the Seattle police officers endorsement, which is huge. It's not every day they endorse a Republican. So we were thrilled to have that one. But they are getting on board, and people are getting on board. Even the soft Democrats are getting on board. Because these are the soccer moms. These are the ones who can't take their kids into the park anymore. And we know them. We feel it even in Woodinville, where I live in King County. You cannot take your kids to parks. There's tents, there's trash, there's needles. Our friends had kids our age, and they were in a soccer league. They had to cancel the league because the parents and coaches every Saturday morning had to walk the field and pick up all the needles so the 6-year-olds could play. And eventually it got so bad they gave up and canceled the league altogether. When did that become the new norm? And our elected leaders, Inslee and Ferguson and some of these others, are saying, oh, just get used to it. That's the new norm. Get used to it. I'm here to tell them that's not the new norm. We do not have to get used to it, and we don't have to take it anymore. So that is why I'm running, and that is why I'm in this fight. This is my first race. And people say, Matt, why did you pick this as your first race? My goodness, start off with city council or something, or school board, seat 6. But this is where I can do the most good. And that's what I tell people. This is where I can make the biggest difference. This is how we can change things. We need good people standing up and fighting these fights. We need good people getting into these races. And that's what I'm doing. So please get on board. Please volunteer. Please donate. Do what you're doing. You're already here. You've taken the first step. The rest of the way is voting, telling everyone you know to vote, giving money to Jesse and I and Josh and everyone in this room who's running for office, because it takes money to get ads up on the air. It takes money to pay for signs. It takes money to pay for business cards. These things you don't even think about, but that's how you get your messaging out. So please join us in this fight, because we can win these races. We can win. And imagine how refreshing it would be to have a Republican, a conservative Republican in the office of Attorney General again, or in the office of Lieutenant Governor. It's exciting to think about. So get involved, get on board. We need your help. It's 3.5 weeks out. It's all hands on deck. Thank you for being here. Thanks for giving me the stage. And I'm probably way past I don't even know how much time I used. So thank you. God bless you.